Hey, what's up guys, Riff here. So today we're going to be once again talking about the very controversial VTuber BananaJuju. This is a monkey-themed VTuber we talked about roughly 2 weeks ago because she was the latest victim of a cancel culture campaign in the VTubing scene. Unfortunately for them, that would backfire greatly and she would gain immense support across various platforms. On Twitter, for example, she went from about 2,000 or 3,000 followers to now nearly 26,000 in a very short period of time. And unfortunately, they're trying to cancel her once again for another ridiculous topic, but we'll get into that in just a second. Let's remind ourselves what happened on this previous episode of Dragon Ball here. So BananaJuju posted her VTuber model with a simple hi post, and this would go viral, getting 7.6 million views. Most people didn't have a problem with it, but some people had viral tweets accusing her of racism and cultural appropriation because this fair-skinned model has dreads. Now, some of their solutions to this, the so-called progressive people, was that if her skin was darker, it wouldn't be racist, which saying that about a monkey-themed VTuber seems to kind of beat the whole purpose of fighting racism, am I right? But anyways, she would also get a lot of traction on the situation, resulting in people like Asmongold, myself, and other content creators talking about her situation, and, of course, resulting in more support of her cause because she was the victim of a ridiculous virtue signaling campaign on social media. And she made the most of this. She would stream consistently over the period of time since this all happened, getting very impressive numbers on Twitch. She also has plenty of YouTube videos that are doing very well, to the point where she is now a YouTube partner. She has capitalized on the opportunity that was forced upon her. A lot of people say this is grifting to take advantage of the spotlight being on you. I think it's the exact opposite. If people are going to try to cancel you and put you on this pedestal for everyone to look at, you should take advantage of it and make content. That's one thing all these V-tweeters on Twitter just don't understand, because they don't understand making content whatsoever. Hence why they just seethe about other VTubers all day. But now you see the situation. It backfired for the cancel culture enthusiasts. Did they learn a lesson? Of course not. And they're doing it again with this post right here. So a few days ago, she made this saying, "Look what I found on the interwebs." Love it. Now, with a close examination, this is clearly AI generated, but again, over 1 million views on this, and people would go absolutely crazy because AI is very taboo in the VTubing scene, despite the fact that some of the biggest agency VTubers have AI tags because they know it's an inevitability of the space they're in, that this stuff is going to exist, so they want to separate with a separate tag from their regular art tags. And of course, there's also large indie VTubers who literally monetize AI, but they don't complain about them. They complain about BananaJuju because she is the flavor of the month and the most recent one to be under the spotlight of cancel culture. And before we get into the actual unhinged threats and virtue signaling and all of that stuff, this post is a good starting point. So this user says, "She didn't spite the artist. She found an art of her she liked and shared it. It's not that deep. Maybe she wasn't even aware that it was AI when she posted it. I get that AI is morally gray. I get why artists are upset about it, but also stop the clout chasing at some point." And that's what this is all about. A lot of people using the situation to virtue signal and clout chase because it makes them good or look good by saying that this is wrong and that she deserves to be deplatformed and blacklisted and all these things. Of course, we all know AI is a very controversial topic, and there's plenty of valid concerns to be made. Unfortunately, in this situation, the people who are trying to say AI bad are so lost in the sauce, they're not focusing on any legitimate criticisms. They're just resorting to insane threats, virtue signaling, and hypocrisy. And they're losing credibility and making people who are especially in the middle on the topic not want to side with them because they look at the maniacs posting against BananaJuju's post here. So let's just jump right into it. This first one starting right off strong. "Genuinely the ugliest Sona to ever exist. I hope people like you get exterminated." The next one, "We need to kill AI artists," from a person who claims they're on a mental health hiatus. I think you need to take a longer hiatus if this is how you're acting over a post containing AI art. Here's another example saying these people are legit effing insane. This person in a now deleted thread quoted saying this, Your stupid rage bait worked. You happy? I'm mad. The fact that people protect you and even support you is crazy. I feel bad for your model/logo artists who don't even get respected, credited for their hard work considering your credits are blah, 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 blah. They can't even spell. They're so angry. Their hands are shaking. What they're trying to prove in this now deleted thread is that her post celebrating 23,000 followers on Twitter was a dog whistle for white supremacy and white power. And they wonder why nobody takes them seriously. But this person would continue with other posts, following that up with, "We have to kill AI artists." Then all of the wholesome Chungus say-so VTubers in the replies are also saying they need to kill AI artists. Very unhinged stuff. But then you see this. An artist would then make this poorly disguised fetish of theirs with a black man choking BananaJuju. Yeah, you know what? You're free to make whatever art you want, but explain to me how this is making you look like the reasonable side here. It's absolutely unhinged. In fact, BananaJuju would actually try to play this off in a silly way, saying this is how she gets treated when she starts yapping for hours in her stream, trying to make light of this very hostile response. And you know what happened? People got mad at her. They said she was basically grifting and she was shamelessly reposting this stuff. It's all so ridiculous. She literally can't do anything right in the eyes of people going after her. But also we have this interaction where someone responding to all this says, "This is not an opinion. Would you accept being exploited or not?" Referring to AI. I don't. Good luck. I'm out. And yes, I shared many tweets that repeated the F sentiment I have. Good job checking on my profile. It's very much so simply an opinion of yours. You think AI art is evil. Some people don't. Yeah, slave owners sure thought they were the good guys. Just go away already. This person says, "Oh my God, so AI art is the same as slavery now? Jesus, what's next? People not taking your side are going to be labeled racist?" And they say, "Considering how many third world African employees literally to filter," I don't even know what they're saying. This is insane. They're literally comparing making AI art or posting it to being a slave owner. And they wonder why people don't take them seriously. So here's some more, really expressing the virtue signaling campaign here. This one saying, "VTubers who support AI deserve to lose their model files," basically lose the files that make their VTuber model. And then they say, "An insult to the artist that worked hard for you." So a lot of people would take advantage of this situation to virtue signal for attention. It's very easy among artists and a particular sect of VTubers to gain support by saying AI bad or jumping on the latest cancel culture victim. And here's some more examples saying blacklist +1. So now they want to blacklist this individual. Here's some more examples of that. So this person shared someone else's, again, now deleted tweets where this individual said this: "I humbly invite all artists with dignity to not work with VTubers who support generative AI. A VTuber is a form of art itself, self-expression. A VTuber is there thanks to artists. AI can't make the models they are using. Don't work with people who don't respect you." And then they would delete their post after getting criticism like this, where this user points out that there's a lot of VTubers and also artists in the scene who are either known for using AI or being okay with AI or having AI tags for their fans. And instead of going after these larger creators or anyone like them, they instead go after Juju because they're the flavor of the month. They're the easy target right now, and talking about them gets you a lot of attention, like I said, with a certain sect of artists and VTubers. And of course, you see other virtue signaling posts like this. Actually was kind of looking up to you, but now I'm just disappointed and feel disgusted that you don't support human art. So besides this last part being a pancake waffle situation where they didn't say anything about not supporting human art, looking up to a random VTuber on the internet is probably a mistake in and of itself. But this is what happens when you have these insane values you're working with, where you put content creators on such a pedestal that posting one image of AI is it. You're done. You're cut off. You're no longer their hero anymore. Crazy. And Juju would come out and clarify some of the response or clarify her points regarding some of these responses, saying it's so funny to see how some people on X have the audacity to tell me what I'm allowed to post about. I laughed at people before for telling me that my avatar is inappropriate. My mindset stays the same. I'm also tired of these so-called moral people telling me what I can and cannot do. Where are you all when I am shouting out smaller artists which are creating awesome artworks? Stay monkey. It's a jungle out there. So yeah, that's true. She has plenty of other posts supporting and crediting small artists, but these people who care so much about supporting small artists, they care less. They couldn't care less about that sort of stuff. Instead, they want to virtue signal. Here's another person saying, bro, surely you guys see who she is now. Dreadlock discourse aside, surely. So this person clearly believes that the dreadlocks were racist or cultural appropriation or something. So they're saying, putting the racism, what I perceive as racism aside, let's talk about her posting a singular piece of AI art. That's wild. And clearly, we see who you are, limiting the replies because you're getting blowback. We also see this as someone, again, is virtue signaling for attention online. So here's another one saying, do not interact if you are supportive of her. We VTubers survive off of these amazing artists. You are nothing without your artists. You don't deserve a platform / any support. I bet you only posted this because you saw your last controversy was falling off. Don't worry, I don't think that one will ever fall off because people like you never stop talking about it. And it's amazing how you can post one thing on social media and you no longer deserve a platform or supports. That's pretty crazy. And also we see this sort of policing of anyone who dares to follow Juju. And we see this again in other posts. I saw someone dropping mutuals who follow her. And I was like, surely none of my mutuals follows, right? What happened to supporting real artists? It's amazing how some people won't completely abandon someone for a singular post like this. I know, shocking. Here's another one saying, VTubers only exist because of real artists, so please don't support the machine that stole our work. It threatens to replace us. If you're an artist, drop a link in the comments. I'd love to see your work and spread some positive vibes. Spreading positive vibes by dogpiling another person and also clearly doing engagement bait, trying to get more people to reply to this tweet and boost the engagement of this account. It's very obvious when people are doing this. Here's another one saying, you know what you're doing. We know what you're doing. Everyone's exhausted with the rigmarole. Well, the only people here who I guess falls under everyone are the people upset about this who won't stop talking about this individual. If you want to stop talking about what this person's doing, then don't make replies like this and then follow up subtweets saying, I'm kind of noticing a trend with selective VTubers I call the no such thing as bad press VTubers. They'll do anything knowing it will cause a stir, claim ignorance while simultaneously defending the position, cry about cancel culture to any drama tuber they can find, then lay low. See, this is interesting because I disagree. There is such a thing as bad press. If you do something actually messed up that really pisses off potential viewers, yeah, it's not going to help you. But when you're getting canceled for having dreads on a VTuber model, or you're getting canceled for a singular AI post, yeah, that press can be flipped into something positive only because people like this can't stop targeting them and talking about them and further boosting attention and sympathy and support going towards them. You have learned absolutely nothing. And you see this. I've noticed this user has been in nothing but controversies in the short time they've been active, and I've also noticed the explosive growth. They're so close. They're so close to understanding what's going on here. Maybe they'll have to complain about it for a few more months before they understand. Here's another one saying, so true. Instead of telling her what to do, we got to start treating her like the laughing stock that she is. Like she thought getting noticed by Asmongold was a good thing. It's hilarious. More Asmongold derangement syndrome that clearly you can't point to the negative effects of. Like, tell me what was bad about getting attention from people like him. What was bad about it? You can't articulate a single point. All you're going to do is say, oh, the Roach King bad. Here's another one saying, girl, it's over for you. This person decides. I don't even have to read anymore. This person wants to decide whether someone's career is going to continue or not. And here's another post that I've seen many iterations of where basically they're trying to imply that the VTuber community is only uplifting bad actors. That in order to succeed, you have to be racist and use AI and rage bait and have no morals whatsoever, which is the biggest copium I've ever seen in my life. Typically, the people who are spouting the most at how much of a good person they are and all those things, those people are the most toxic ones anyway. But at the end of the day, a lot of these V-tweeters and other VTubers who are constantly virtue signaling about how good they are and how there's so many problematic people in these spaces, there's a very common denominator with all of them. And it's that they don't make content. All they do is seethe on Twitter. Guess what? That's not interesting to people. And no matter how much you want to slander people and make these wild accusations, it doesn't change the fact that some of these people being unfairly canceled are generating an audience because they're entertaining and they're actually making content, no matter how hard you try to label them as something bad. That's all there really is to it. And really, this is a good way to sum it up. Juju has been the victim of one of the most insane cancellation attempts I've seen on this website for most idiotic of reasons. Dozens of people trying to make their name by running her off the internet. And once again, it's blowing up in their face. She's getting more support. And yeah, people like me will take advantage of this every single time it happens because you people are providing me with free entertainment, free content for the channel, and you're just making yourselves very clear who you are. Just a bunch of cloud chasers, virtue signalers who will literally dogpile anyone as long as it gets them a brief amount of attention on social media. They don't understand this dynamic that's giving people like Juju more and more support, and they ultimately don't want to understand it because it's way more fun for them to virtue signal on social media than it is to ignore people they don't like and simply move on and make their own content or support other people they do like. It's really as simple as that. But that's going to do it for this video. As always, feel free to share your thoughts about today's topics in the comment section down below. Hope you guys enjoyed the video, and I'll see you next time.